a city with a population of around 450,000 people, built on the banks of the Guani River among the steep mountain terrain of China's Yunnan province, nestles what is unofficially considered to be the narrowest city in the world, Yanjin. Looking at Yanjin County from above, it's hard to believe that such a settlement actually exists in real life. The town is shaped like a sandwich, with the Guani River weaving through it and large buildings on either side. But that is precisely what distinguishes the town. It appears to be something people would expect to see in a fictional film. The city of Yanjin stretches like a long ribbon, with multi-story buildings miraculously glued to the edge of a riverbank. On either side of the river, the city is spanned by a major roadway that runs many kilometers. Surprisingly, there aren't many bridges in the area. Yanjin City borders Zhejiang Province to the north and east because of the narrow stretch of usable land sitting between the turbulent waters of the Guani River, and with rugged mountains on either side, it does not seem like a very suitable location to build a city of this population size. However, that is exactly what the people of Yanjin have done. Yanjin means salty sausage, and it was named this because about 1,500 feet to the north of the city on the riverbank lies a salt lake. This salt lake helps explain how the city exists in such rough conditions. Yanjin was once a mountain trading hub of bronze, salt, and tea. The city doesn't have any well thought out transport systems, wide roads, or even main roads besides the extreme narrow ones. At its narrowest point, Yanjin is just 30 meters wide, while the widest part of the city is around 300 meters. And it is crossed by a main road on each side, with the city stretching for several kilometers along the river. The narrowest street in the city is just 40 centimeters wide, making it almost impossible for two people to pass by each other. Apart from Yanjin's extreme narrowness, the city of Yanjin is located in a very precious commodity area, and many of the apartment buildings are located on the banks of the river and built on thin stilt-shaped pillars to protect them if the water ever should rise and cause flooding. Another important thing about Yanjin is directly related to the seasonal weather. In Yunnan, like in many other tropical regions, there's a clearly defined rainy season. The Guani River, you could almost cross on foot without getting wet at all in the dry season, turns into a powerful river during the rainy season in a matter of minutes that washes everything away in its path. During a festival celebration in the late 1800s at Yanjin, a bridge that spanned the Heng River collapsed and 400 people were drowned. This led to the bridge being rebuilt with walls and a roof. Yanjin has a long history and vibrant culture with historically profound sites. Since at least the Qin dynasty in 221 to 206 BC, the area of Yanjin City was home to the Bo people. The city's history itself dates back to the Tang dynasty, over 1300 years ago. During this time, Yanjin was an important transportation hub connecting the central plains of China with the southwest. As a result, the city became a center of commerce and trade, and many people flocked to the area to set up business. This territory was settled by the Bo people, who are known for their very interesting ancient burial practices. The Bo people buried their dead in suspended coffins up to 600 meters high on incredibly steep cliffs. Coffins of various shapes were cut out of whole pieces of the nanu tree, and after placing the deceased inside the coffins, they would be hung on ropes and laid to rest on stakes fixed into the rock on tall ledges, cliffs, and caves. According to the Bo people's beliefs, the mountains were the stairway beyond this world to the afterlife, and additionally, the residents wanted to protect the dead from being defiled by enemies or animals and being subject to persecution by the Ming dynasty's armies. The Bo minority eventually had to abandon their territories and gradually integrate into other ethnic groups, where they faded from history. Li Jing, during the Yuan dynasty in 1279, suggested a clue in his brief chronicles of Yunnan. The coffins are placed so high for hope. You can still see the hanging coffins to this day, looking at Yanjin from above. Over time, the narrow streets and alleys of Yanjin became a defining feature of the city. Many of the buildings in the city are also incredibly narrow, with some only measuring a few meters wide. Despite their small size, these buildings are able to accommodate businesses, homes, and even restaurants. These narrow passages has led to some creative solutions, such as residents using small electric vehicles to navigate the city. One of the most unique features of Yanjin is its famous noodle lane. This narrow street is just 80 centimeters wide and is lined with restaurants that serve the city's famous hand-pulled noodles. The restaurants are so close together that they share a common kitchen, and the noodle making process can be observed by passers-by. Another interesting aspect of Yanjin is its traditional architecture. Many of the buildings in the city are made from clay, wood, and brick, and are decorated with intricate carvings and paintings. The city is also home to several ancient temples and shrines, including the famous Yanjin cave temple, which dates back to the Song dynasty. Despite its narrow streets and small size, Yanjin is a bustling city that offers a unique glimpse into traditional Chinese life. The city is known for its friendly locals, delicious food, and beautiful scenery. Despite growth being constrained by the area's stunning geography, residents have done what they can to preserve what they call home. Yanjin is now courting tourists and has become a somewhat popular destination for visitors. Unfortunately, despite the incredible stilt buildings and population of Yanjin, its economic development has been hampered by very difficult access to the city. Due to the mountains surrounding the area and insufficient transportation infrastructure and logistics, the city is considered inaccessible by many. Drone shot footage of Yanjin has been going viral on Chinese social media for years, leaving many scratching their heads about the reason why anyone would want to live in such a narrow city when China has so much more suitable land. But the truth is that this area has been inhabited for thousands of years, and many of the locals wouldn't consider living anywhere else. While Yanjin may still face some economic challenges, it remains a unique and culturally rich city with a strong sense of community.
拍视频来干啥？拍视频给大家看眼睛。
Throughout its history, Yanjin has been flooded many times, sometimes with catastrophic endings. The last flood happened in the summer of 2020. Because of anomalous rains, even for the rainy season in the Yanjin area, they had to evacuate thousands of people, with some being lost to the flood and others going missing. Despite the danger, people keep living in the city and are even building new areas that will have many defense methods for the floods. If you have anything else that's interesting you want to add, just drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. And so with that, please subscribe and thank you for watching.